As I've said many times before, one of the goals of this channel is to educate men on how things are out in the real world. And along those lines, one of the things I like to do is show men how women think and how they learn to think that way. For example,
how are men going to change if we don't teach them about the patriarchy, if we don't put that work in?
Ah, yes, the patriarchy, a nebulous term that's been around for decades now. One that rarely can be actually defined. And that lack of exact definition, well, that's on purpose. Because you see, it's a lie. And as someone said a long time ago, tell a lie often enough, it becomes the truth. And sadly, this is the truth that's drummed into little girls from the time they're born all the way up until they become full-fledged women, to believe that society, aka the patriarchy, is against them, and that men are to blame for everything.
We don't have to convince men of our humanity and to stop oppressing us.
All right, first of all, men have always viewed women as human. And while it's fair to say that there have been men that have oppressed women, the reality is that number is few and far between.
All we have to do is withdraw our services from them, and they will be forced to fucking change.
Withdraw your services? Oh, I'm not touching that one. But there is a takeaway for men from that statement, that today's women see relationships as nothing more than business transactions, an exchange of goods or, well, services.
We have to stop doing labor for them without anything in return.
Again, I want to point out, this is what girls and women have been taught for decades now. And it's led to this belief that men somehow are incapable of taking care of themselves. We literally cannot feed ourselves, wash our clothes, do dishes, or do anything unless a woman does it for us. And that the way to train us like little puppy dogs is to not do things for us. And it's why, in many ways, I don't blame today's women for thinking that way, because that's what they've been taught for decades now. Their mothers, their grandmothers, their great-grandmothers have taught them to think this way.
Until they can prove that they can be excellent, we don't give them the benefits of our company.
And again, this illustrates another common belief that women have, that they're entitled to everything from a man and he needs to prove himself, and until he does, there will be absolutely no reciprocation back. This is where that belief that men exist solely to provide comes from.
I do realize this sounds like the tactics that you use with a toddler. Men are acting like toddlers.
And again, we see a generalization and label applied to men, that they're toddlers, children, incapable of being adults, and must be viewed that way. And again, that's the paradigm that women have presented for generations now. And it's why we're at where we're at. Now look, she's entitled to believe whatever she believes, and you're not going to ever change that belief. And it's why I say to men, we need to wake up and see that this is how women have literally been trained to think for decades. It's not going to change anytime soon, and they're entitled to think that way if they choose. The good news, men are seeing it now and walking away. And that's what we need to do, not respond to women who think this way. Let them go live their lives, let them be happy, and we'll do the same. Sad, truly sad that we've reached this point, but this is where we are.